Welcome back to the GH Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about a critical and dramatic issue that has recently rocked ABC General Hospital. Let's dive straight into the intense series of events without delay. Natalia made a grave mistake when she revealed to Sidwell that Sonny was about to undergo heart surgery. Sonny had trusted Natalia enough to share his deepest secret, the secret about his deteriorating heart condition. This was not something he had shared lightly. Sonny, always cautious and private, especially about matters concerning his health and vulnerabilities, had confided in Natalia because he believed in her loyalty. Yet, what he never anticipated was that Natalia would betray that trust so devastatingly. Sidwell had always harbored a deep, violent hatred towards Sonny. Their rivalry was no secret to anyone who followed the intense undercurrents at General Hospital. A few months prior, Sidwell had orchestrated a bombing at Sonny's house, a vicious and calculated move meant to eliminate Sonny once and for all. Fate intervened, however. Sonny survived the blast, but not without consequences. The explosion severely injured Michael, a tragic collateral damage that deepened the emotional scars and added new layers to the feud. Learning about Sonny's upcoming heart surgery gave Sidwell the perfect opportunity to strike again. Seizing the chance with cruel enthusiasm, he quickly moved to plan an attack that would ensure Sonny wouldn't leave the hospital alive. Sidwell contacted his subordinates, orchestrating a sinister plot right inside the walls that were supposed to provide safety and healing. He believed he had all the advantages this time. Sonny would be unconscious, vulnerable, under the knife, and unable to defend himself. However, fate once again had different plans. Natalia, who had inadvertently set these wheels in motion by leaking Sonny's secret, stumbled upon Sidwell's deadly scheme. She overheard Sidwell speaking with his men, coldly laying out the plan to end Sonny's life. Horror washed over her as she realized the gravity of what she had caused. She never intended for Sonny to die. Deep down, Natalia still cared about Sonny, and the thought of him being murdered, because of her mistake, was too much for her to bear. Desperate to prevent the tragedy, Natalia confronted Sidwell directly. She cornered him, demanding that he call off his plan. But Sidwell, already enraged and unhinged, lashed out violently. In a fit of anger, he struck Natalia across the face, his words dripping with venom as he declared that no one could stop him. Natalia, panicked and frightened for her life, grabbed the nearest object she could find, a fruit knife. Acting on pure instinct and adrenaline, Natalia drove the blade into Sidwell. The fatal wound was swift. Sidwell collapsed to the ground, dead on the spot. Time seemed to freeze for Natalia as she stared at Sidwell's lifeless body. A tidal wave of terror, guilt, and disbelief crashed over her. She had killed a man. There was no hiding from it, no undoing what had just happened. Overwhelmed and trembling, Natalia did the only thing she could think to do. She picked up the phone and called the police, tearfully confessing to the killing. The authorities arrived quickly, and Natalia was taken into custody. The weight of her actions bore down heavily on her shoulders. She had wanted to protect Sonny, to atone for her betrayal, but now she faced a grim and uncertain future behind bars. Meanwhile, the hospital buzzed with tense activity as Sonny's heart surgery proceeded. Against the backdrop of betrayal, violence, and death, the surgery itself went remarkably well. The skilled medical team, unaware of the chaos unfolding nearby, focused solely on saving Sonny's life. Their efforts paid off. Sonny came through the surgery with flying colors, his prognosis strong. He was on the road to recovery, his body healing, and his spirit unknowingly fortified by the loyalty and sacrifices made on his behalf. When Sonny eventually learned the full story, his heart ached, not just from the physical trauma, but from the emotional toll as well. Natalia's betrayal had nearly cost him his life, but her actions in the end, her willingness to risk everything to save him, showed that she had tried to make amends. Sonny, a man who understood the complexities of loyalty, forgiveness, and second chances better than most, decided he would not let Natalia face the consequences alone. Determined to help her, Sonny wasted no time. From his hospital bed, he began making arrangements to hire the best criminal defense attorney money could buy. He knew Natalia's act of violence was not premeditated murder, but a desperate, spur-of-the-moment act of self-defense and protection. Sonny's influence and resources would be crucial in mounting a strong defense for Natalia, and he was committed to seeing it through. The story of Natalia and Sidwell, and Sonny's survival, stands as a stark reminder of how betrayal, guilt, and redemption often dance dangerously close to each other. Every character involved was forced to confront the very core of their beliefs, their fears, and their loyalties. In the end, Natalia paid a heavy price for her mistake, but she also showed that courage sometimes comes in the form of desperate acts done for the sake of another. Sonny's recovery will undoubtedly bring new challenges and reflections. His brush with death and Natalia's shocking actions will influence his decisions and relationships going forward. Will Sonny's forgiveness be enough to save Natalia from a life behind bars? Will Natalia find redemption in the eyes of the law and in her own heart? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the world of General Hospital has once again proven that it is a place where secrets have power, trust is fragile, and salvation can come from the most unexpected places. Stay tuned to GH Spoilers channel for more updates, analysis, and the latest developments from ABC General Hospital. We will continue to follow Sonny's journey to recovery and Natalia's fight for freedom. This has been one of the most intense and unforgettable chapters in the ongoing saga of Port Charles, and there's no doubt that even more shocking twists are just around the corner. Next, we will dive deep into the brewing storm surrounding Carly Spencer as she faces one of the most challenging battles of her life to safeguard her family's future. In Port Charles, where secrets fester and loyalties are tested daily, Carly is on the brink of unleashing a tidal wave of chaos in her unrelenting quest to protect her loved ones. With her son Michael Corinthos recuperating in a specialized burn treatment facility in Germany, Carly's maternal radar has picked up alarming signals closer to home. Her daughter-in-law, Willow Corinthos, appears to be forging an unsettling alliance with Drew Quartermain, a bond that threatens to reshape the very foundation of their family. As whispers of legal documents and hidden betrayals surface, Carly's resolve hardens, and she prepares to take drastic measures that could either save her grandchildren or shatter every relationship she holds dear. Let's start with the heart of the matter: Carly's fierce devotion to her family. Known for her unyielding spirit, Carly has weathered countless storms to shield her children from harm, often at great personal cost. But now, as Michael fights to regain his strength thousands of miles away in a sterile German clinic, Carly's protective instincts are stretched to their limit. She watches helplessly as Willow, grappling with the weight of uncertainty surrounding Michael's recovery, seems to lean more and more on Drew for support. What began as a seemingly innocent camaraderie has morphed into something far more troubling in Carly's eyes. Sources close to the family reveal that Willow has taken a staggering step, allegedly signing over temporary legal custody of her children, Wiley and Amelia, to Drew in the event that tragedy strikes. For Carly, this isn't just a precaution. It's a betrayal of Michael's role as their father and a direct threat to the Corinthos family legacy. The mere idea of Drew, a man with his own complicated history in Port Charles, stepping into a parental role over her grandchildren sends shivers down Carly's spine. She's determined to act swiftly, even if it means crossing lines she's never dared to cross before. This brings us to the intricate web of relationships that Carly must navigate. Her disapproval of Drew isn't new, but it's intensified by his clandestine entanglement with Nina Reeves, a woman whose past conflicts with the Corinthos clan are the stuff of Port Charles legend. Nina, with her knack for stirring drama, has managed to weave herself into Drew's life in ways that Carly finds both infuriating and dangerous. Rumors swirling around town suggest that Carly has been sitting on explosive knowledge of their secret affair, biding her time for the perfect moment to strike. However, the bombshell of Willow's legal arrangement might just be the catalyst that pushes Carly over the edge. If she chooses to reveal Nina and Drew's illicit romance, it wouldn't merely be a personal vendetta, it would be a calculated move to dismantle the trust Willow has placed in Drew. Carly understands the power of truth as a weapon. By exposing the affair, she could shatter the illusion of Drew as a reliable figure in Willow's life, thereby nullifying any legal hold he might claim over Wiley and Amelia. But this strategy is a double-edged sword, as timing and delivery are everything in a town where gossip spreads like wildfire. Delving deeper, let's explore the potential fallout of Carly's impending decision. Should she decide to pull the trigger and expose the affair, the consequences could ripple through Port Charles with devastating force. Willow, already emotionally fragile due to Michael's precarious health, might not react with gratitude for Carly's intervention. Instead, she could perceive it as a manipulative power play, especially if Carly's approach lacks the finesse of heartfelt concern. Imagine a heated confrontation at the Quartermain mansion, where Willow, tears streaming down her face, accuses Carly of prioritizing control over compassion. Such a scenario could drive an irreparable wedge between them, leaving Carly isolated at a time when unity is most needed. Furthermore, Drew himself is no stranger to spinning narratives in his favor. If he paints Carly as a bitter meddler driven by jealousy rather than genuine worry, he could rally support from unexpected corners of Port Charles, including some of Willow's closest confidants. This would not only undermine Carly's credibility, but also jeopardize her standing as a trusted matriarch in the eyes of her family. The stakes escalate even further when we consider Nina's inevitable retaliation. If Carly is revealed as the source of the leaked affair, Nina, with her sharp intellect and deep connections at Crimson Magazine, could unleash a media storm targeting Carly's past misdeeds. Picture the headlines screaming across Port Charles newsstands, dredging up old scandals and painting Carly as a hypocrite who's no stranger to betrayal herself. Nina might also leverage her newfound ties with the Quartermain family to isolate Carly socially and financially, turning former allies into adversaries overnight. This potential backlash isn't just a personal blow, it's a direct threat to the stability of Wiley and Amelia, the very children Carly is fighting to protect. Caught in the crossfire of this adult drama, the kids could suffer emotional turmoil, their innocent lives disrupted by custody battles and whispered rumors at school about their family's fractured state. For Carly, the irony is bitter. In her mission to secure their future, she risks tainting their present with conflict and pain. As we zoom out to the broader implications, it's clear that Carly's next move will redefine not just her relationships but the power dynamics of Port Charles itself. Custody of Michael's children hangs in a delicate balance, tethered to fragile threads of trust and legalities that could snap under the slightest pressure. Carly stands at a crossroads. Does she prioritize immediate action to reclaim control, or does she tread carefully to preserve what little harmony remains? Her history suggests she's more likely to charge forward, consequences be damned, but whispers from within her inner circle hint at a newfound hesitation. Perhaps the toll of past battles, like the loss of her son Morgan and the countless wars with enemies like Nell Benson, has taught her the value of measured strategy over blind fury. Yet, with Michael's absence creating a void of leadership in the Corinthos family, Carly might feel compelled to fill that role with ferocious determination, even if it means igniting a war that engulfs everyone she loves. In the shadows of this unfolding drama, other players in Port Charles are beginning to take notice. Local insiders report that figures like Sonny Corinthos, Carly's ex-husband and Michael's father, are keeping a close eye on the situation, ready to step in if the conflict spirals beyond repair. Sonny's own history with custody battles and family loyalty could add another layer of complexity. Will he support Carly's crusade, or will he advocate for peace to protect his grandchildren from further harm? Meanwhile, at Crimson, junior reporters are allegedly digging for dirt on Drew and Nina, sensing a story that could boost their careers. Their findings, if uncovered, might force Carly's hand sooner than she'd like, turning her planned strike into a desperate defense. Every coffee shop conversation and hospital corridor whisper in Port Charles seems to hum with anticipation, as if the town itself knows that a reckoning is near. Welcome to the edge of chaos, dear viewers, where Carly Spencer's choices could either mend or break the fragile bonds of her family. As we await the next chapter of this gripping saga, one thing is certain: in Port Charles, protecting what's yours often comes at a price no one can predict. Will Carly emerge as the savior of the Corinthos legacy, or will her actions spark a fire that consumes everything she holds dear? Next, we will uncover the thrilling twists and emotional turns unraveling in Port Charles throughout the week of April 28th to May 2nd. From shocking secrets to dangerous encounters, the drama is heating up, and we're diving into the chaos in reverse order, starting with Friday's explosive events and working our way back to Monday's heart-pounding moments. Buckle up as we explore each day's developments with fresh perspectives, creative rephrasings, and added layers of intrigue to keep you on the edge of your seat. Friday, May 2nd, secrets unraveled and crimes exposed. Kicking off our reverse journey, Friday delivers an emotional roller coaster as Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri share a deeply moving conversation that could shatter long-held secrets. Whispers around town suggest this heartfelt exchange might center on the bombshell of Brooke Lynn Chase's teenage pregnancy, a truth that has lingered in the shadows for far too long. Could this be the moment when everything comes to light? Meanwhile, Nina Reeves and Carly Spencer engage in a tense debriefing session, whether Carly has returned from her LA trip or they're hashing things out over a crackling phone line remains unclear. But the urgency in their tones hints at major revelations. Adding fuel to the fire, Lois Cirillo finds herself cornered, likely forced to address the staggering truth about Brooklyn's past and the identity of her child, rumored to be Gio Palmieri. Elsewhere, Maxie Jones faces a harsh ultimatum, possibly tied to a business deal gone sour at Deception Cosmetics, with stakes higher than ever. And in a darker corner of Port Charles, Max Scorpio stumbles upon news of a crime, perhaps a theft or something more sinister linked to the Corinthos warehouse piers, setting the stage for a gripping investigation. the day buzzes with uneasy anticipation as hidden truths claw their way to the surface, threatening to upend lives. Thursday, May 1st, plans, pleas, and parental wisdom. Rewinding to Thursday, the tension remains palpable as Drew Kane steps into the spotlight, passionately advocating his position in what could be a fallout from a calculated scheme by Nina and Portia Robinson. Was their setup executed with precision, or has it backfired spectacularly? At the same time, Jocelyn Jacks is busy weaving a cunning strategy, likely tied to her mission to unearth dirt on the mysterious Professor Henry Dawson, a task that might involve risky undercover work at the university. Elsewhere, Harrison Chase extends a significant request to Dante, possibly seeking backup for a sensitive case at the PCPD that could involve family ties. Brooklyn Chase, meanwhile, bares her soul to Tracy Quartermaine, perhaps seeking guidance on how to navigate the looming exposure of her past, while the weight of her confession hangs heavy in the air at the Quartermaine estate. Adding a tender touch to the day, Laura Collins offers Lulu some sage motherly advice during a quiet moment at the Spencer home, likely warning her about the emotional storm that secrets can unleash. Every conversation on this day crackles with unspoken fears and bold intentions. Wednesday, April 30th. Unpleasant returns and unexpected theories. Midweek brings a sour note as Willow Corinthos faces a distressing homecoming on Wednesday, potentially linked to Drew's recent disruptive behavior that has tongues wagging across Port Charles. Could a public confrontation at the Metro Court have left her reeling with embarrassment or betrayal? Meanwhile, Nina Reeves grapples with second thoughts, possibly reconsidering her decision to shell out a hefty $6,000 to Jacinda for undisclosed reasons, perhaps a bribe to keep a damaging story under wraps at Crimson. Across town, Jack Brennan shares a compelling theory, likely tied to a lingering mystery at the WSB or a personal vendetta that could draw others into his orbit. At the same time, Laura Collins and Curtis Ashford huddle together to discuss a pressing issue, most probably the controversial placement of the Esplanade on the Corinthos Coffee Warehouse piers, a decision sparking heated debates among local business owners. Lastly, Alexis Davis finds a sympathetic ear in Lulu Spencer, venting frustrations over family pressures, maybe even hinting at legal battles brewing behind closed doors at her office. The day pulses with uneasy undercurrents as personal and public conflicts collide. Tuesday, April 29th, shocks, suspicion, and budding bonds. Rolling back to Tuesday, suspicion reigns as Anna Devane narrows her eyes at something or someone stirring her seasoned instincts, possibly a shady deal unfolding at the docks under the cover of night. Could this tie into the warehouse controversy? Simultaneously, Tracy Quartermaine drops a jaw-dropping revelation on Gio Palmieri, perhaps unveiling a family secret or a hidden inheritance that could change his path forever, leaving him stunned in the opulent Quartermaine library. Elsewhere, Portia Robinson walks in on an unexpected scene involving Curtis Ashford and Jordan Ashford at the hospital, sparking questions about lingering feelings or a shared professional crisis. Maybe a patient's dire case has them on edge. On a lighter note, the blossoming connection between Marco Rios and Lucas Jones deepens, with the pair spotted sharing laughs over dinner at a quaint Port Charles bistro, oblivious to the storms brewing around them. Finally, Drew Kane causes a ruckus, likely lashing out at someone who's pushed his patience too far. Could this be tied to business tensions at Aurora Media or a personal slight? The day weaves together romance and discord in a volatile mix. Monday, April 28th. Danger, demands, and delightful distractions. Landing at the start of the week, or the end of our reversed recap Monday, sets a chilling tone with Sonny Corinthos in grave peril. Awakening in recovery, he's confronted by a menacing intruder wielding a syringe in his hospital room, a shadowy figure whose motives scream revenge or sabotage. Carly Spencer bursts in just in time, her horrified gasp of "Oh my God" echoing through the sterile halls as she scrambles to protect her ex-husband. Could this be tied to old mob enemies resurfacing with a deadly grudge? Meanwhile, family tensions flare as Molly Lansing Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis corner Alexis Davis, demanding clarity on commitment papers concerning Christina, a confrontation possibly unfolding in Alexis's cluttered law office with emotions running high. Yet, amidst the discord, Alexis receives an unexpected gift, a rare moment of warmth, though unlikely from her upset daughters. Perhaps an old friend or mysterious admirer sent a token of support wrapped in elegant paper with a cryptic note. On a brighter note, Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor escape the drama for an enchanting night out, perhaps strolling along the pier under twinkling lights, lost in each other's company. Lastly, Gio Palmieri seeks assistance from Emma Scorpio Drake, Maybe for a school project or a personal dilemma, their conversations sparking an unlikely camaraderie at Kelly's diner. Monday encapsulates danger, defiance, and fleeting joy in equal measure. As we wrap up this reverse journey through the week's spoilers, it's evident that Port Charles is a powder keg of emotions and hidden agendas waiting to explode. From Sonny's life-threatening encounter to the unraveling of buried secrets, every day brings new challenges for our beloved characters. Will alliances hold, or will betrayals tear them apart? Stick with us at ABC General Hospital Spoilers for the latest updates, and share your predictions in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation buzzing as this captivating saga unfolds.